Today we're talking the pros and cons of the pressure washing business. Let's get into it. In today's episode, we are discussing the pros and cons of the pressure washing business. So let's jump right in. Number one, let's talk about the cons. Let's go ahead and get the negatives out of the way. And by the way, guys, I could make this list huge because like any business, there's going to be a bunch of cons, there's going to be a bunch of pros, but I narrowed this down to my top 3 cons and my top 7 pros. So let's dive in. So the number one con of this business is something I myself did not realize until I got into this business. And what it is equipment maintenance. You really don't realize, like, on the back end what it takes to maintain and run a successful, thriving pressure washing business. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to get into all the details, but at some point here I will do a complete video on, for example, our maintenance schedule. Guys, there are things I do on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, and a monthly basis in order to assure that my equipment runs efficiently every single day. To give you an example here at my shop, we have about, I would say about close to 50K invested just in tools, because every single day, for example, your rigs, the fittings are going to go bad. You're going to be constantly doing tune-up on your machines, for example, tune-up on your vehicles. So these are all things that nobody really tells you. So when you first get into the business and you start running your business, guess what? If you're not doing these things, guys, these machines, even though they're commercial units, guess what? Whenever you're dealing with corrosive chemicals, it's going to ruin stuff very quickly if you don't have a maintenance plan in place. So this is something that I'm going to guide you guys, and I'm going to help you guys a lot in this department as well, to show you the little tricks and tips of the business, the things that you need to have in order to constantly maintain your equipment. Number 2 on the cons list, dealing with employees. Again, guys, this is something that is, look around. This is something that every business in America is dealing with right now. But, people, us, we are complex creatures, right? And so you're going to be dealing with all kinds of issues on a daily basis as you grow your business. The great thing is, most of you guys are, under 5 years of experience in the business, and it's I would say it's right around your 4th or 5th season before you get to the level where you're going to start hiring employees anyway. But my best advice to you in this department is this: never waste your time trying to turn a no into a yes. It does not work, okay? It does not work. So if you have an employee that has a crappy attitude, that is lazy, does not come to work on time, that does not want to learn things, guys, just cut your losses and move on. Go find somebody with a great attitude who wants to show up every day, who appreciates getting a paycheck. But number 2, again, everyone is dealing with this. One of my good friends here, he owns a company. He's been in business for 28 years. And his company, by the way, is a $10 million a year company. And guess what? This is his number one issue every single day, dealing with employees. It does not matter, guys. If you're a little guy trying to learn the business, or you're a big company, guess what? Every single person is dealing with this right now. So it is one of the cons when you go from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, because guess what? You listening to this and watching this video right now, guess what? You're very unique. Most people are not like you. Most people don't have a great attitude. Most people don't like to come to work. So you, in a way, in a subconscious way, you kind of expect people to be similar to you, but guess what? you are extremely rare. That's why you're going to be very successful in this business, because there's not too many people like you. You remember that old saying, you know, in order for you to make what nobody makes, you got to be able to do what nobody does. That's why you're going to be successful. Number 3 on our cons list is something that, you know, most people don't talk about, and that's liability issues. This business has a lot of moving parts to it, the main being the chemicals. So, you know, that's why I constantly tell you guys, and I coach you guys up on that, because, you know, if you go to a house and you spray the wrong chemical, wow, guess what? You can ruin paint, you can ruin galvanized roofs, you can ruin all kinds of things. You can kill people's plants. So that's why I want you guys to make sure that you watch all of my videos, because in every single episode, there's some kind of nugget in there that coaches you up on that stuff, right? And so this channel, the purpose of this channel is to help you start and grow a successful pressure washing business. And part of that success is going to be teaching you how you can minimize your liabilities. But that is something that you will have to deal with and learn as you grow in this business. Great. That's all the cons out of the ways, guys. Now let's jump into your pros. That's what I really want to talk about, all the positive stuff. So the number 1 pro, and guys, this is not in any kind of order of importance to me in that sense, but there are so many pros to this business, and that is what makes it beautiful. Number 1, if you notice, there's been a lot of talk about the industry in the last few years. So we are in an industry right now that is a hot commodity, guys. It is a industry in demand. So, you know, you see it on social media, for example. Everyone's posting videos, everyone's talking about it, there's a good buzz around it. And guess what? We're in an industry that's called an evergreen industry. I don't know if you guys ever heard that term before, but an evergreen industry is an industry that's always going to be around, that's always going to be in demand, right? Because think about this. People forever and ever and ever, they're always going to want to sell their house or buy a new house. And guess what? No one's going to sell a dirty, grimy looking house. And then also, think about it. Most of the homes, especially here in the United States, the way they're built, if you don't take care of all that bacteria, it's going to eat up that paint, eat up that siding, and it's going to completely destroy that house. And we all know that your home is your biggest investment, and no one's going to want to risk $300, $400, $500 to wash a house and ruin a $500,000 house. So again, industry always in demand. Number 2, one of the things that initially got me into this business is your low barrier of entry. And I got 2 things on this. Number 1 is cost. I've mentioned this before on my channel that, you know, I spent right around like when I took a dive into this business, it cost me right around $500. Now, I wasn't making a lot of money because I didn't have really good equipment, right? But nevertheless, that is universal for this business. You do not have to have a lot of money, guys, to get started in this business. With a couple $1,000, as a matter of fact, you can go out there with a semi-professional equipment and then upgrade as you go little by little. And that's pretty much how 99.99999% of us do it. And the second thing that I'll say about the low barrier to entry is about a skill level and knowledge. Like, it doesn't matter, guys, if you have a high school diploma, a college degree, or if you don't have any of that stuff. Guess what? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, this business treats everyone the same. It doesn't matter the color of skin. It doesn't matter if you're a man, you're a woman, if you're tall, if you're skinny, if you're fat. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is your attitude and your work ethic, and that's about it. Because if you go out there and the business is going to kind of weed out completely weed out the people that are not for this business, right? So that's one of the things that I really loved about it, because you can kind of jump in there without a lot of knowledge. Now, I will say this, guys, you know, as your mentor here on YouTube, you know, I didn't have this. I wish I would have had this, but YouTube was just sort of kind of becoming a thing when I started my business, not what it is today. So, you know, this is a great resource for you guys. And, you know, I love teaching and coaching, and, you know, I'm going to do my very best to be passionate about teaching you guys the right way of doing things. So, you know, make sure that you're constantly learning and improving yourself so your skill level can rise up to a level where you can make good money in this business. Number 3 on my list is actually, I would say, wow, it's kind of like one of my favorite things about this business, and it's this: satisfying results. Guys, there's something very satisfying about you know, seeing a house kind of go from that really nasty grind to shine, from green to clean. You know, you get to a house and the concrete's all black, and then, you know, you use your white tip and you see all that black stuff. I don't know, guys, like, I don't know, maybe this only happens to me. Let me know in the comment section below. But man, I love going to super dirty, grimy houses, and I hate going to houses that are super clean. You guys see me do a lot of the house washes that are annual customers of ours, and the houses are really clean, and I don't like that. And I just love that. To me, it's like almost therapeutic to see all that order out of chaos sort of thing, you know what I mean? For you to be able to turn that super nasty looking house into a beautiful home. And so I think that is something that is attracts a lot of people to this business. Number four, guys, on my list. This is something that, wow, originally I would say was the number one thing that drew me to the business, is that it is a cash flow rich, abundant business industry, because there's a lot of money. Guys, look around. There's a lot of money to be made in this business, because it's a skill-based business. You know, when I first started, I kind of was under the impression, I was like, oh, I'll just go get a pressure washer and this is super easy. But when you actually jump into it, you realize that the top echelon money is only there for the guys that are highly skilled at their craft. That's why this is not you know, just typical labor. This is very skilled labor. And it's always been the purpose of my channel was to teach you guys like all of the different skill sets that you're going to need. Like, for example, that's why I got the marketing series coming out in 2 weeks. That's a different skill set. I got sales videos coming up to teach you guys how to get out there and sell. But there's so much money, guys. There's so much money to be made in this business. But like any industry and anything that is in life, there's a trick to it, right? And you have to learn how to master all of these little intricacies for you to be able to get that consistent cash flow. Like something I shared with you guys a couple episodes ago. You know, you guys imagine, for example, you know, you get out into the field and you set your mind on every single house. You're going to do the driveway and you're going to do the house wash for $500, right? So 500, and you're doing that 4 times a day. Guys, that's $2,000 every day doing 4 houses. That's only going to take you maybe 2 hours, 8 hours total a day to make $2,000. That's a tremendous amount of cash. I remember, you know, I would make around $1,500 for an entire week worth of work, working 50, 60 hours a week to be able to make that. So the cash flow opportunity that is in this business is not only abundant, but it is for anybody, guys. You just have to learn how to do this business the correct way. Like I always say, if you want to make what professionals make, you got to play the part of a professional. Now, another thing that kind of really drew me to this business, number 5, we're talking about flexibility and control, right? One of the things that I hated about being an employee when I worked for somebody else was that, you know, you had to ask for permission to take a day off, or you had to, I remember, I don't know if you guys seen this before, where they send a calendar out and they black out like a bunch of dates where you can't take off time. You guys remember, you guys ever worked in a place where they did that? And it was always like the really good months, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I love the flexibility to be able to control my own time. But also when we're talking about control, I love the fact that I could bet on myself, and that my growth potential and my money potential did not depend on somebody else's decision or opinion, for example, of me. That it was going to depend on my own work ethic, my own attitude, and that I was going to be able to get out there and basically make whatever I wanted to make. So I love the flexibility of that. I love the flexibility of being able to, for example, go out, do what I want to do, build as big as I want to be. I can stay small if I want to be small. I can build it to a medium-sized company. Like the sky's the limit for what you can do when you run your own company. And that's one of the things that really drew me to this business. Number 6 kind of goes hand in hand with that, and that's personal growth. And I don't know what it is about the corporate world, guys, but it really kind of puts a clamp down on you growing for some reason. Every time you try to do something, there's somebody sticking their boot on you, right? Am I right? And so what happens is, in this business, and by the way, this is something, this 6th one is something that's universal for a lot of business and being an entrepreneur, is I personally, on a personal level, I love having the ability to be able to grow as big as I want to be. And, you know, I love reading books on certain subjects. I love, like you guys right now is a great example of this. That's why I know you listening to this right now in your truck or your delivery truck or on your job, or you're watching this somewhere. I know you're going to be successful because you know why? Because you are developing yourself. Because guess what, guys? Guess what? When you peel back all the layers of success, there's 2 basic elements to it. And it is this. Okay, you guys ready for this? It's 2 main things that you need in order to succeed. 1, you gotta have work ethic. And 2, you gotta be consistently improving yourself. All of the other things flow from there. You will never be successful if you're lazy, and you will never be successful if you're not growing. So I love that side of the business where I can grow as big as I want to be, and I can develop myself. So what I did in the background when I first started my business, I bought a lot of sales books. I bought a lot of marketing books. I bought books on self-development, like that book, Think and Grow Rich, for example. That's one of my favorite books. So buy books on self-development for you to be able to grow, because guess what? Guess what? The mindset of an employee is way different than the mindset of an entrepreneur. And this is all of the things that you're going to have to learn and master in order for you to succeed and thrive in the pressure washing business. Now, like I was saying, man, this might be the number 1 thing that really attracted me to this business, because I always felt like, you know, in my old job, they never allowed me to grow, right? Because I don't know what it is. The corporate world just doesn't like people who think outside of the box. You know what I'm saying? They want you to just follow orders, and they don't want entrepreneurs as employees. You see what I'm saying? So you're listening to this, you are definitely headed down the right path, because that's what you're doing. That's why you are learning information so you can grow. And by the way, as you go through this process, that's going to segue real good for you into the next one, which is financial freedom. As you grow, you're going to become more financially free. And to be honest with you, this is probably, man, this might be the #1 reason, guys, to be honest with you, is why I jumped into the pressure washing business, because I understood something when I was an employee, that no matter how hard I worked, that I was capped at a certain limit, because guess what? When you have a regular job, your value is always going to be determined by somebody else. Right? It might be your district manager, your area manager, your supervisor. Somebody's going to determine that for you. And so I didn't like that aspect of it. I like the aspect of being able to choose my own value, right? So what really drew me to the business was that you can be financially free. What does that mean? That's going to mean something different for everybody, right? But I wanted to be free to go to vacation whenever I wanted, to be able to go on vacation, wherever I wanted. Like if I wanted to go to Cancun or go to Europe, do whatever I want to do. I want to be able to be financially free, for example, to not have to worry about, where the money for my bills are going to come from, as an example. So, this business, guys, will provide you with financial freedom. Now, you guys ever heard that saying that money does not buy happiness? I'm sure you have. It's universal. But I like to say this: money buys happiness adjacent. What do I mean by that? So we all know money is a physical thing and can't buy happiness, right? But guess what? Money can buy freedom, and freedom can get you happiness. You see what I'm saying? Because in order for you to be financially free, if you're making a minimum wage, that's not going to happen. If you work for somebody else, I just explained this to you, it's going to depend on them, not you. So in order for you to be truly financially free, you're going to have to reach a certain level of finances within your business where you have a year worth of bills in the bank account, where you already have separated all the money that you're going to use, for example, for investment, and all the money that you're going to use in your personal life to go on vacations and stuff like that. So there you have it, guys. I mean, if you really boil it down, this business has so many opportunities for you. What I love about the business is very diverse. We talked about this the other day, where there's so many different ways of making money in this business. You can do roof washing. For example, here we're huge into gutter cleaning. We make about $250,000 a year in this business right here, just cleaning gutters. So everything's up in the air, guys. You can go out there and make as much money as you want to make in this business, and that's what I really like about it. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I really appreciate you coming to my channel and watching this pros and cons of the pressure washing business video. I highly recommend you watch the next one as well. Guys, in that episode, we're talking about marketing. And guess what? You're making a big mistake right now that is hurting your business, and I'm going to talk to you about it in our next episode. So I'll see you guys over there. And by the way, I love when you guys send me emails. So email me any questions, comments, or concerns that you have. I answer all of your emails. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bubbles out.